to my channel. It's Itstyra.j and I'm back with another video. So today's video is going to be pretty much about a couple things that I wish I knew going into my 20s when it came to healing, self-love, knowing my self-worth, and stuff like that. I thought that this video would be really helpful because honestly, I think that we're all kind of in a point in our lives right now that we just want to know how to heal ourselves and do a little bit better for ourselves. So why not shed a little bit of light on the topic? So if y'all see me looking down, that's because I wrote everything down for you guys, and I'm gonna be going in depth about all the things that I wish I knew going into my 20s when it came to healing, dealing with heartbreak, friendship, any relationships, family, all of that. So step number one, or the first thing I wish I would have known, was the only way to store information is by agreement. And honestly, that's a quote from the book The 4 Agreements, because like I was reading that book and it really opened my mind to so much different things. But the only way to store information is by agreement. The only way to feel a way about something is if you actually see that it reigns true to you in some sort of way. So I think that that's really important to understand, that the only way that you actually believe something or it sticks with you is if you actually agree with it. If you disagree with something, it rolls right off of you, if that makes sense. The second thing is you don't have to pay for a mistake you made for the rest of your life. So I personally feel like this one is so important because people like to make other people pay for mistakes as if they haven't gotten over it. So for example, let's say if I do something to you, right? In my journey of growing and being a person and making mistakes and like trying to get better and being self-aware and holding myself accountable, let's say I do something that hurts somebody else, right? And not physically hurt, but like let's say I hurt somebody's feelings. It's up to me to look at that, learn from it, and understand that I gotta do better so I don't hurt nobody else, hurt myself, or hurt that other person again. But for some reason, people love to make other people never live down the mistakes they've made, even when they're trying to be a better version of themselves. So a message to people on both ends is like, you got to learn forgiveness and you have to learn how to forgive yourself, because it's one thing to take accountability for what you've done, but it's another thing when you're trying to grow and become a new person and change and do everything for the better, and somebody is constantly reminding you about a mistake that you made as if it defines your whole character. So it's like, just like understand that you don't have to keep reliving that mistake. Just because somebody else hasn't gotten over it, you got over it. You heal, you forgive yourself, you get over it, you move on. If that person is stuck on it, leave them stuck on it, because that's their business. What you do within yourself is up to you, and it only has to do with you. What they got going on is between them and themselves. So number 3, self-abuse is the only reason you tolerate abuse from others. So this one was really, really big for me. I didn't realize how true this was because I've been in relationships where I was physically abused, verbally abused, and I didn't realize that the only reason why I even took on so much abuse from other people was because I abused myself. And like there were points in my life where like I would like try to harm myself. There were points in my life where like I would just say like verbally bad things to myself. Like, you know, when you're like, oh my God, I'm so dumb for doing this, or oh my God, I'm so this, I'm so that. Like we kind of put these words onto ourselves. That's abuse. Like that's verbal abuse, and we're doing it to ourselves without even realizing. So if somebody comes into your life and be like, you're stupid as fuck, or like, you know, just something like that, we kind of feel like it's okay because we already tell that to ourselves. The only reason why we tolerate abuse from other people is because we've already abused ourselves enough. We build up that tolerance for abuse from ourselves already, that when other people try to abuse us, like it just, you know, like it don't feel like the worst thing when it really is something you shouldn't tolerate. Number 4, the power of the tongue is vital to your existence. So I swear to God, like this is just something that is so powerful in my life right now. The power of the tongue, the way you think, the way you speak, the way you feel, like all of it is just so connected. And honestly, I really feel like me changing an outlook on how I talk to myself, how I reflect on my situations, who I talk to, and what I talk about has made me internally feel so much better. Like I feel so much more positive knowing that I don't gossip about other people, knowing that I don't spread lies about other people, knowing that I only speak positivity into my situations and other people's situations, knowing that even if you've betrayed me or forsaken me or hurt me in some sort of way, I don't have anything bad to say about you. That right there has made my life and my outlook and my feeling, everything that goes on around me has been so much better and lighter just due to me changing the words that come out of my mouth. The power of the tongue is so vital. Like, you can say stuff and you don't even realize how bad it's affecting you or your situation. So just try to be mindful and move with what's the word, intention. Move with intention, because like the more intention you put behind things, the more thought through they are, and the better the outcome when you actually think before you speak and do. So the next thing is be careful not to misinform. So this one is so important because that can go with anything. Do not misinform other people on a situation, right? Be careful not to spread lies. Sometimes it may seem like we're just telling our side of a story, but be careful not to spread lies. And I have it written down here. The reaction to defend your beliefs cause conflict. So the fact that like a lot of us sometimes may fabricate a story or stretch the truth a little bit or leave certain things out to make sure we get our point across to other people. So let's just say me and a friend fall out, right? We're not friends anymore. And when I go to people and I tell them what happened, I'm gonna say the story in a way that whoever I'm telling the story to is gonna accept it and see that I'm the right person in the situation. Nobody will ever tell a story from the point of view of them being wrong. You see what I'm saying? So like, be careful not to misinform people, and be careful not to get confused with the fact that you want to be right so bad that you're going to try to express your beliefs, whether that takes hiding a couple things in a situation, whether that takes stretching the truth, whether that takes fabricating the story a little bit. No matter what, just be as honest as you can with the situation and tell your truth. And your version of the truth doesn't have to be another person's version of the truth, but just don't intentionally lie about a situation just to get your point across. If someone is not treating you with love and respect, it's a gift if they walk away from you. I didn't realize how important this was in the beginning of me starting to date and deal with people. I used to always kind of like fiend for the guy that I want. You know what I mean? Like, even if he's not giving me everything that I want, I would honestly, a lot of the times, like, still go after a guy and not realize that if somebody is not giving you the love and respect that you deserve or desire, it's okay if they distance themselves from you. It's okay if they ghost you. It's okay if they are like, you know, not giving you enough attention. Like, rejection is protection, and when a lot of these people aren't giving you the energy that you desire from them, it's okay. That doesn't mean chase. That means let them go. And I wish I would have known that like 2-3 years ago. Like, I swear, because I done wanted people so bad. Like, I wanted a specific person so bad, and I didn't realize that when that person had ghosted me or had like started being distant or not being consistent with me, that was God protecting me from a situation. That was so much protection, where it was just like, this person is not for you, and I'm gonna do this early, that way you just don't go back. But in that moment, I didn't realize that that was protection. I thought that was just like, oh, he don't want me, I'm gonna make him want me. And then I made him want me, and then we got into a relationship, and it just like, it was just continuous. It was an uphill battle the whole time. So I definitely don't suggest, like, damn, the thunder like talking over me. I definitely do not suggest trying to chase, you know, like, don't. Rejection is protection, and if it's not for you, it's not meant to be for you. Like, just let it be. So the other thing is, don't spread gossip, because we make assumptions and believe so strongly that we are right that we try our best to make other people wrong. We're only seeing and hearing what we want. So let me say that again for the people in the back. We make assumptions and believe so strongly that we are right that we try our best to make somebody else wrong. Now, that goes back to the other point of what I said, like, don't misinform, because sometimes, like, we are so headstrong and adamant on the other person being wrong that it's not even about us being right anymore. Like, it don't even be about us being right no more, as long as they're wrong. And that's when your ego gets into an argument. That's when, like, you put the wrong feelings or emotions into a issue or a dispute. When you're so adamant on winning the fight that you don't even care about you winning, you just want to make sure that person loses, no matter how that may be, Like, you really have to sit back and check yourself and realize, like, okay, like, this is not an argument that I should be having. I'm not in the right headspace to have an argument, because at the end of the day, I've seen so much friendships, relationships. I've been in friendships like this where the other person has literally tried so hard to make sure that I looked wrong in a situation. It wasn't even about them being right. And that's the point where, like, your ego is so involved that you have to check yourself and realize that is not okay. Like, that's not how you get your point across. That's not how you try to communicate what happened. That's not how you, like, you know, share your truth. So let's be a little bit more mindful about, you know, the opinions that we're spreading. We assume that people think the way that we feel, so before someone can reject us, we have already rejected ourselves. So let me say that again. We assume that people think the way that we feel, so before they can reject us, we already reject ourselves. And I'm gonna say that's a quote from the 4 Agreements as well, that book that I was telling y'all about, because that is just like the realest thing ever. We're so adamant on the fact that, like, I'm gonna keep giving y'all examples, because let's say, and these are like real life stuff that I've been through. Let's say, like, you're like tired from working, right? Like, I used to work like 3 jobs at one time and still do lashes, so I would sleep like barely. I was super tired, and I was shut down when I was tired and I didn't feel like I was well rested enough and I didn't have time to do the things that I love. I would be super tired. I was making money, but I was tired. So I would like kind of shut my friends out a little bit. I would want to rest, but my friends knew my schedule. They knew what I was doing. It's not like I purposely just wanted to be locked in my room in the dark. You know, like, I'm an introvert too. I grew up as an only child. So that, on top of being like having a heavy workload, I don't want nobody around me. I don't want to talk until I'm ready. So let's say that's my mentality. I just need to rest. It's nothing against nobody. And then a friend looks at me and she's just like, she's acting funny. The point of me trying to say that is that we assume that people think the way that we feel. So that friend, before she comes and checks on me and saying like, you good? Like, you okay? You need something? Because like, you're a little off right now. Your energy just feels a little bit off right now, and I just want to make sure you're okay. Now, that's the approach you take before you assume that somebody's acting weird or acting funny. You got to communicate, because we assume so strongly in our own minds that other people think the way that we feel, that we already have this like narrative, like, she's acting funny, she's not messing with me right now. And that's not even the case. So because you already reject yourself, you don't even give the other person a chance to reject you or, like, you know, pull you in. Because you don't know if you would have just came to me and asked me, are you good? What's going on? And I told you, like, I'm tired as hell right now. I don't want to talk to nobody. Like, but when I do get rest, I'll let you know. Like, when I'm rested and I feel like I'm okay to speak, I'll let you know. It would have been a completely different outcome. Sometimes we have to not feel like people are thinking the way that we internally feel, because that's just not how it works. But then I also get it too. Sometimes our emotions are just so strong that when we look at the world and we look at life for other people or just our experiences, it makes us look at other situations as if it's something that we've already gone through, and it really don't be that. Like, you really have to understand that communication is like the key to fixing everything. Like, if you want to know, just ask. And if they don't tell, then you have all the right to, you know, move how you want to move after you've tried to communicate. The next thing is never use somebody's moment of weakness against them. So, like, literally, I gotta say this for the friends and the not friends and the relationships and the family. Like, never use somebody's moment of weakness against them. May that be anything. So, you ever seen that tweet where it's like, oh, like, if you see your best friend's crunchy panties, don't take a picture of it and save it for later, right? And that's like, that should be a given. Like, you should never use somebody's vulnerable moment against them. You should never use it to make them weak to the outside world, right? Because that's really messed up. So I've been in situations where, like, not like that, like, nobody's ever taken pictures and, like, you know, like, not like that, but like, I've been in a situation where I was too tired and like working 3 jobs, like I said, and running a business, and then I had to drop one of my jobs just to run my business a little bit more effectively. And so still working 3 jobs, and didn't have the time to really like do much, right? I would have to probably pick one day out of the week where I could like clean my room and clean my bathroom, even if I got the chance to do it, because I would be knocked out and back outside again trying to make money and do what I have to do to like maintain my life, right? and at the time I was like 20, 21. So I went through a phase of my, like a point in my life where I was just so tired, so depressed, so overwhelmed, so lonely, going through a rough patch in my relationship, overworking myself, and that was a vulnerable point for me. And I would leave dishes in the sink at my apartment, right? I had a roommate at the time. I would leave dishes in the sink, and my roommate was like a friend of mine. Like we moved to a different state together. We were like this, and we ended up just like slowly like drifting apart, and it happens. You outgrow people, whatever. But pretty much she would take pictures like during our friendship of like things that I would slack on. So if I left dishes in the sink, she would take a picture of it. If I did, you know, like she would take a picture of stuff and then keep it just in case we fell out. But there were things that I could have taken pictures of, but that's just not in my nature. And in the moment when I saw certain stuff, and I'm not even gonna say those things, even now that we have like, when we are in no connection, I still wouldn't put that out there, because what's the point? You see what I'm saying? I don't take people's vulnerable moments and use it against them. Because for me, and this is just me being very, very honest, when I was in college and like I have a best friend, right, or whatever, like I would never like see something that she left messy and, you know, call her out for it, because that's my best friend, that's my family, that's my sister. So at the end of the day, if I see her slacking on something, I'm gonna clean it up. You see what I mean? Because it's no harm, no foul. Like I'm not looking at it like we got beef, so it's okay if like we family. I'm gonna help you when you can't do, and you gonna help me when I can't do. That's just how it goes. So like, needless to say, all I gotta say is like, if you have a friend that's like, you know, if you see her crunchy panties on the floor, get some gloves or a garbage bag, put it over your hand, pick it up and throw it in the washer. Throw it in the washer, throw it in the dryer, and then text her and be like, hey, like you left something in the dryer. You see what I'm saying? Like that's real. You don't take a picture of it and be like, oh, just in case me and this bitch fall out, because then that's not your friend. Or you don't look at her as a friend, and that's not okay, because why are you around somebody that you are taking pictures of their stuff just in case y'all fall out? Like what part of that is okay? You see what I'm saying? So yeah, definitely don't use somebody's moment of weakness against them. That's shady. Honestly, like it just shows that you don't have principle, you don't have morals, you don't know how to be a good person, and maybe in other aspects to other people, but you don't know how to be a good friend. Number 12, people are gonna try to put you in a box because of how they feel, but that box does not matter. People are gonna literally, like, you was in high school and you stole from H&M when you was back in high school. People are gonna call you a thief until you 55, but you stole that one time when you was 16 years old just because your job was only paying you $150 a week and you really needed some new clothes to wear. And that never happened to me. That's just like some shit that I just made up. But like, you see what I'm saying? Like people are gonna take shit and run with it. People are gonna like never let you live stuff down. They're always gonna have a narrative and put you in a box as this person. Even if they don't have a reason, they don't even gotta know you from a hole in the wall. People are gonna put you in a box and make you out to be this person that you're not. But all I gotta say is to keep being headstrong and understanding that just because somebody else got you in that box, it has nothing to do with you. You can't take it personal. All you have to do is live your life through your own lens, and whatever somebody else's lens has nothing to do with you. And the last thing that I gotta really say is first impressions are genuinely everything. I know for me, like first impressions mean so much. First impressions, you can like literally spot out the red flags sometimes. Don't ignore them. I feel like your first few impressions, not even just the first time, but like the first few impressions of you being around somebody or being in somebody's life or meeting someone, it says a lot. You can't reverse it, you can't return it. So make sure your first impression is your best impression and your truest impression. That way people can choose if they want to actually be around you or not. So that's pretty much all I have for this video today. I hope that you guys take something away from it. I hope you guys, you know, really learn something or it opens you up for more conversation. I definitely want to hear what you guys have to say about each of the things that I said. So make sure you leave a comment. Make sure you like this video, subscribe, share it. Probably screen record your favorite part of this video and tag me in it if you post it. And I'll repost it on my story and we can just have a little conversation about, you know, what we pretty much talked about here today. So thank you guys so much again. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in my next video.